Let's talk about sharks.
Let's talk about sharks.
Hey, Isabel, you want to know a fun fact about leopard sharks? What? Yeah, sure. Leopard sharks process oxygen more efficiently because they have more red blood cells. That is so true. Looking at some leopard sharks, did you know that they follow the tide into mudflats so that they can forage for food there. Oh, and also, the large first dorsal fin is positioned about halfway between the pectoral and pelvic fins. This allows them to be fast enough to retreat before being stranded or trapped as the water recedes. Because they swim in shallow water. Leopard sharks.
Clink, Angela here with a special report. This just in. Right now, just in. Leopard sharks are hunted as a delicacy all over the world, and the International Union for Conservation of Nature has assessed the leopard shark as of least concern. People, we need to stop eating shark fins. Stop!
Behind me is a sand tiger shark. They adapted many ways to better hunt. For example, they have a gray-brown back and a pale underside. This allows them to... Okay, I found it. By having a darker pigment on the part of their body that receives the most light and a lighter pigmentation on the part that receives less light, the animal's appearance tends to flatten out and be less conspicuous. This helps them during hunting prey.
Another adaptation that the sand tiger sharks have made is that smaller sand tiger sharks focus on the sea bottom, and as they grow larger, they take up more benthic prey. Female sand tiger sharks have also adapted their uterine canals. When one of the embryos reaches 10 centimeters in length, it eats the smaller embryos so that one large embryo remains in the uterine horn. This is a process called intrauterine cannibalism. It's totally normal for sand tiger sharks. Adapted in many ways to create an easier lifestyle for itself. For example, the rounded dorsal fin gives them the ability to move on the surface of the ocean floor, where they hunt for prey. Light brown and dark patches are covered along with the rest of the body with black spots. This is called coral biofluorescence, and this is how they communicate and attract a mate. The skin of the shark is able to expand to twice its size, which gives the sharks this ability to scare their predators. When they feel threatened, they blow up like a balloon and float to the top and scare their predators away. It's horrifying. They undergo any embryonic development, and this gives them the time it needs to feed and live. It also has the ability to bend its body into a U shape and swell up so that the predators can't eat it. It's commonly seen sleeping next to or on top of one another, as they are very sociable sharks. White-tip reef sharks are different from other requiem sharks who need water to flow through their gills in order to breathe. White-tip reef sharks can pump water while lying still inside of the water. Another differentiation between these sharks are that white-tip reef sharks contain a placenta, and this gives them the ability to give birth to 1 to 6 pups over a 10-month period of time. They are not territorial creatures, but they have to be defensive because of their looks. They're very hard to miss. They have strange movements and swimming patterns in the water, and they have a very slender shape and extremely pronounced gills. So they're hard to miss and must be the numbers are dwindling due to unregulated fishing levels, and overproduction is needed to allow the species to survive.
This is the horn shark. The tough skin and spines of this species allow it to have protection. Flexible muscular pectoral fins allow it to go along the ocean floor. Dark organic shapes and the color of the species allow it to not be seen at night. Expanding buccal cavity that it has in its mouth allows it to suck in its prey. Its protruding upper jaw allows it to act like a chisel to kind of get barnacles off a rock. The highest known bite force relative to its size is this shark, and it needs it to crack shells, which is its food, and it has a very good sense of smell, and that's how it hunts animals.
Overproduction is a problem because when fish farmers go out and fill their cages, the sharks get stuck in them and they have to be thrown out. But the skin needs to be tough enough so that they can withstand being trapped in the cage and then being held in somewhere and then throwing out. So overproduction works as the ones with weak skin will die off, but the ones with strong skin will come back and reproduce.
An example of a convergent evolution for sharks is found in the comparison between sharks and dolphins. They share many evolutionary factors, including the cartilage in their body structure, their dorsal fins and side fins, and the torpedo shape of their body. An example of divergent evolution can be seen in sharks versus bony fish. Bony fish have an external fertilization process, and the sharks have an internal fertilization process as well. The sharks have a cartilaginous skeleton, and the bony fish have a calcium carbonate skeleton. The bony fish have scales, and the sharks have evolved to have more of a cartilage surrounding their body structure, as in they have denticles/placoid scales. The megalodon is a shark that can only be described as epic. It lived from around 15.9 to 2.6 million years ago and is now extinct. During the end of its life on Earth, we were going through an ice age, not only cooling the waters of the ocean, but also making less space for the sharks. An example of descent with modification was the large raptorial delphinids. They were a species that were able to cope with the cooling waters and were able to feed off of the megalodon diet because of its sheer difference in force and its power over the other animals in the animal kingdom of the ocean.